Welcome. Welcome to current students, soon-to-be graduates, parents, families, official thesis advisors, our live stream audience, and everyone interested in wonderful behaviors. This is the official thesis presentation from the class of 2017. Woo! I'm Liz Danzico. I'm the chair and co-founder of the MFA Interaction Design program here at the School of Visual Arts in New York City. And I'm so thrilled to be standing up here with all of you this morning as you're about to see wild ideas and inspiring wonderful behaviors. It's just my job to quickly give you context for what you're going to see today and to introduce some of the remarkable people who have helped to make this happen. But first, let's talk a little bit about the background for how we got here. It was the fall of 2015. Obama was still president. And the phrases virtual reality, augmented reality, conversational interfaces, and autonomous vehicles were not yet household phrases. A lot has changed in just 2 years. And it was then that this new class started their journey. It's a 2-year journey through a graduate study at SVA. They came to us from 18 different parts of the world with 18 different backgrounds and 18 different ideas for what it meant to design for interaction. But they all agreed on one thing, which is to work together incredibly hard for the next 2 years on the design for their interactions. So it was then, on this first day of orientation, that we talked about the material of interaction design. What is it that we use to make things for our craft? Contrary to common belief, the material for our design was not screens, it wasn't smartphones, it wasn't smart homes or connected cars, it wasn't code or pixels. Instead, I asked them to consider behavior as our medium, as the very matter that we use to design. Human behavior is what we can consider the material of our craft and the foundation on which they've built their ideas. And with that, they set out. Fast forward to today, and we're just starting to understand how this material for design really manifests itself. The possibilities are not just limited by our own imaginations, but are embedded in the increasingly rich interactions that we have, both wonderful and not. So the bold people you're about to hear from have designed essentially the context for those experiences. They're going to tell you about ideas that range from pragmatic to speculative, from the pragmatic to the fanciful, but all grounded in true possibility for the future of wonderful behaviors. There are 2 people who have really guided the students through this journey to coming to those ideas, and I'd like to introduce Emily Goligoski and Eric Foreman, who teach the thesis course. Emily is a user experience researcher, designer, producer, and educator. And Eric crosses boundaries between many things, just a couple: fine arts, performance, architecture, science, and many, many, many more. Together, alongside their own professional practices, they have guided these students through this process. And I'm going to invite them over to tell you a bit about what is thesis at MFA Interaction Design and what you can expect today. So please help me welcome Emily and Eric.
Well, thank you, Liz, and thank you, everyone, for being here. I'm Eric Foreman, the head of innovation and also faculty at SVA.
I'm Emily Goligoski. I'm a user experience research lead at the New York Times.
So it's been just such a joy working with this gang as they struggled through this process and triumphed, as you'll see here today. I've been working with them over the past 2 semesters and co-teaching with Emily over the last intensive semester. And I also remember from the very beginning of this process in physical computing, the first ever class, which seems both long ago and also yesterday. One of the most exciting things about seeing this work is how the students have attacked really what I think are very serious real-world problems, but also have the realistic prism of a designer who wants to solve problems, who doesn't want to get too far into the realm of idealism. And there's some speculation, but there's a real sense that positive change can be enacted through what they're making here.
We've been especially impressed with this group's collaborative spirit that they've brought to class and to their thesis projects. But more crucially, they have an immense interest in one another's endeavors. We've gotten to see them coach each other and be generous with their time in helping to troubleshoot, particularly over the past week, which is invaluable in a profession that's heavily reliant on communication and empathy building. No doubt this group's creative and technical skills make them in demand, but it's their interpersonal abilities that we're especially excited to see our industry embrace. Next, they'll be undertaking a wide range of opportunities beyond SVA. Their interests in what drives positive human behavior, wonderful behaviors, as it were, are timely and imperative, and we're looking forward to you getting a chance to see what we mean.
We wanted to thank also, besides the families, for being here and supporting your children through this mission and being so proud of them today. Also, all of our advisors, many of whom are tuning in remotely, who helped these students, who are all outside professionals, who helped them for the entire year through their project. So just a little bit about how this day will work. We have the students' presentations grouped into themes. There's 3 or 4 students in each theme. And you will hear about real connections, smarter play, happier homes, better streets, and new perspectives. And there'll be a brief little Q&A discussion after each group of students and a small break in between each group that you can go outside for. And around roughly in the middle, we'll have an hour off for lunch. So I think it's time to start. I hope you will join me in welcoming our first presenter, Ruth, to kick off the presentations.